Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is me Jyoti Khetan and you're watching Arcandy. In this channel we discuss about architecture, construction and different material. Today we are going to discuss about regionalism in architecture. So without further delay, let's get started with today's video. Regionalism in architecture is about the context and customs of making buildings in a particular region. These buildings, mainly houses, rely on specific knowledge of the climate, geologics, geography and topography of the region. Regionalism in architecture means an architecture that is derived directly from its local setting. The concept of regionalism leads to the building being intrinsically site-specific and responding to the local climate and culture of the place where it is being built. From its initiation, regionalism has often fallen opposition to modernity and the language of modernism. Regionalism may be viewed as a specific form of modernism, thus becoming an integral part of the search for both identity and modernity. Regionalism recognizes modernism but is critical of many of its features, such as its high level of abstraction. To be truly modern, we must first reconcile ourselves with our traditions. Octavio Paz, in the 1980s, a few architects and theorists were dissatisfied by the direction most postmodernism was taking architecture to. They started to believe that postmodern architects were producing another avant-garde style mimicking the classical style instead of depicting the strictity of style in their design. In the postmodern period, architecture had started to lack social individuality, cultural uniqueness to the place where the buildings belonged. In contrast to the postmodern ideology, regionalism gave priority to the identity of the building, considering the ecological, social and cultural elements of the region where the buildings were constructed. Regionalist architecture started to treasure and reflect the particularity of a region, its unique environment, locally available materials, the cultural value the place held and the life led by the people of the place. Different societies used what they had available and invented ingenious ways to build their accommodations. What they built had to keep them warm in cold, cool in heat and dry in the rain. This may not seem like a challenge, but the techniques employed did so passively, meaning without electricity. Regionalism in architecture often has a cultural aspect built in, and you can see political structures, family dynamics and societal organization reflected in some building. For example, in Malaysia, houses grow somewhat organically as the family members are added, whereas in tribal parts of Africa, new structures are built in the community as the family dynamic changes. Regionalism differs from critical regionalism in that critical regionalism was an intellectual construct to counter the modernist and postmodernist lack of identity and disregard of context. Regional architecture closely follows the developments of vernacular architecture but incorporates modern materials and technologies. The climate is a very important element in regionalism. Vernacular architecture, which refers to building made by local tradesmen, often called architecture without architects. This type of building develops over time and changes to become more efficient and more performative in its context. Vernacular architecture is inherently green and follows many sustainable design principles such as using local building materials and designing passive systems for heating and cooling a building. Each region has developed its own vernacular architecture specific to climate, available materials and culture of the space. The climate plays a big role in regional architecture. Hot climates employ a few strategies that vary by region. In Southeast Asia, cross ventilation helps cool the interior of structure, whereas in the Middle East, courtyards with fountains are preferred. The cool moving water from the fountain actually cools the surrounding air, a process called evaporative cooling. In cold climates, thick walls with high thermal mass, ability to absorb and store heat are used. Walls can be made of adobe, mud and straw, even snow, really anything that might be in nearby abundance. In areas with both extreme, structures were designed to adapt seasonally to the weather. Guys, this much for today's video. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, stay tuned to my channel and don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. Please press the bell icon so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a video, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.